guys, I just wanted to go ahead and record my response video. Thanks for all your posts. I thought they were really great. It was great to listen to some other perspectives and just kind of get an idea of some different thoughts on the reading. So, Christina, I'll start with you first. I just wanted to comment on a couple things. We had kind of similar thoughts, I think, in terms of just, being able to relate to students and work with students in different backgrounds. I think this is, kind of my first position where I've gotten to directly work with students from a lot of different backgrounds. So I think I'm still learning to do that every single day. I mean, I think I sometimes go into a conversation thinking it's going to go one way, and it completely goes the opposite way. And so just trying to navigate those conversations and why, some students might do things a certain way, etc. So I think that's important for us professionals to continue to build on. You also mentioned, again, similarly, that that maybe not every student that's been in a similar situation will react the same way. I think your example with the athletes, but I think that's so true, and I think we as practitioners just need to make sure that we have open minds about situations and that we're not kind of already listening when people come and talk to us. So, I heard this term, and it's kind of just this idea that when someone comes and talks to you, you kind of already have your mind made up. You're not truly listening to what they have to say and trying to understand. So I thought that was helpful. And then another thing you mentioned was that just learning how that it's important to learn who we are personally to ensure that we can communicate best with others. I think that's so important and such a good point. I took the Strengths Finder for the first time this year, and it gives me a lot of insight as far as maybe why I do some of the things I do or act the way I do. So I encourage everyone to take that if possible, because it truly does give you some insight as far as how to communicate and kind of how to navigate some of those things. Cody, I really liked how you shared your story. I know we had some conversations offline, and so I knew that you were going to do that, but it was cool to kind of see it in action. So I think that was awesome and helpful to understand kind of where you are and where you came from. So something that I really, really liked in your video was when you talked about how theory helps everyone. So when you talk about how parents and students and just to get a broader understanding, I think that's especially personal to me because my parents, not really anyone in my family, truly probably understands a lot of this theory. Nor, you probably don't really just learn these things unless you go to grad school, but I just think it's important to know, I think about some of the conversations that my parents have. Sometimes they're like, oh, you're an RA. Like they don't get it. They don't understand fully what I'm doing, and then, when I'm having conversations with them about conversations that I've had with students, sometimes it's just hard for them to be on the same page that I'm on, or they're like completely in left field as far as, my response, so I just think that theory can be helpful in those things, and for parents to understand their kids and why they, do certain things or act a certain way. So I just thought that was a good point that I just wanted to mention. Jonathan, I liked the exercise that you did and how you how you perceived yourself was similar to the way that others perceived you, and I think that's so helpful, especially with those kind of core concepts that aren't changing. I think it's kind of helpful to be confident in those, and then also kind of have that validated by others. This is how I feel about myself, and this is what I'm actually getting back. So I thought that was a cool idea that you did to kind of get that across. So. And then finally, Samantha, I also thought that it was helpful. I too also did the activity in the book where I wrote down, the core and some context, and for me too, that really helped to kind of look at those things and be like, okay, these are things that are not changing about me, that I believe are my strongest traits. So I just thought that was interesting. Another thing I thought was interesting was when you talked about how you're less salient, how some characteristics are less salient if you're in a privileged category. I agree with that to an extent. I think, in my category, in my attributes, I still wrote down white, but but I guess female, yes, you're not the privileged group, so I guess you would identify with that. So I just think that that's interesting. I don't think that that's the case for everyone, because it wasn't the case for me. So, but I understand, it's probably more so, especially for people that are those of several categories that are not privileged or not considered privileged. I think that um, that's probably more common. So, and then Christina, I just wanted to add about my advising experience. It's been okay so far. I have two girls on the track team. Um, they're kind of not really sure. I think they're kind of like, I go and I'm there, and like they're super independent, so they're just working on things themselves. So it's hard because I don't want to like butt in and like continue to ask. So I mean, they're nice and they're fine, but it's just not, they're not super like, oh, can you help me with this? Oh, can you help me with that? So I think I'm still trying to build some rapport with them and try to you know, maybe see if that will help, or they'll try to open up to me before the semester's over. But yeah, so we'll see. I hope you guys enjoy the video, and I look forward to seeing your posts.